The confirmed number of coronavirus cases in Los Angeles County comes to 1,215,129. The confirmed number of deaths reaches 22,871. Here in Torrance, the total number of confirmed cases is 6,962, with total confirmed deaths at 191. We anticipate those numbers to increase as the county updates its last 24-hour operating period. Welcome to COVID-19 Today. I'm Rhiannon Trutanich. It's 4 p.m. on Wednesday, March 24th. Los Angeles County and the surrounding areas could soon move into the next less restrictive orange tier as early as next month. The orange tier would mean even broader reopenings, particularly for restaurants and bars. Now, to move tiers, counties must hold at or below the threshold for that new tier for at least 2 weeks and stay in a new tier for at least 3 weeks total. Los Angeles County entered into the red tier on March 15th, which means the earliest it could move into the orange tier would be mid-April. Now, under the orange tier, that would mean restaurants could increase indoor dining to 50% capacity. Breweries, distilleries, and wineries that serve food could increase indoor dining capacity to 50% as well. And those that do not serve food could offer indoor drinking at 25% capacity. Bars that do not serve food could also potentially open outdoors for drinking only. California's multi-tier colored system is part of the state's Blueprint for a Safer Economy reopening guide, which lays out coronavirus-related benchmarks to allow for businesses to reopen safely. Los Angeles County officially agreed to partner with healthcare giant Blue Shield to provide performance metrics to assess the success of the state's vaccine rollout. The agreement allows the county to continue to coordinate vaccinations through its 400 providers throughout the region, including hard-hit areas of South and East Los Angeles and pockets of the San Fernando Valley. Under the agreement, both agencies will jointly support vaccination goals from efficiency to equity and make recommendations to the state regarding vaccine allocations and distribution needs for the county to achieve these goals. All 375 of the county's vaccination partners that were receiving vaccine shipments directly from the county will continue to get doses as long as they meet the state's centralized requirements for tracking and reporting. Blue Shield will continue to expand and improve the state's My Turn online platform for appointments and notifications. As of the beginning of this week, more than 3.2 million total doses of the vaccine and more than 1 million second doses had been given to eligible residents. This week, just under 280,000 doses were allocated to the county, falling short of the 633,000 appointment slots available. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is advising the public against travel during spring break, as Miami, Florida officials declare a state of emergency due to the recent spring break chaos and large crowds in popular tourist destinations. Los Angeles County public health officials are sharing the same message this week, asking families to stay home during the upcoming week off for kids and college students. Officials expressed concerns of a potential surge in cases that could happen in mid-April as the travel industry sees an uptick in bookings for hotels and airlines. Everyone is reminded that the travel advisory is still in effect for anyone leaving Los Angeles County, even including those who are fully vaccinated. Anyone traveling beyond 120 miles are required to quarantine for 10 days upon their return. Officials are asking residents to remain close to home and to help keep the daily COVID-19 case rates down. Public Health Director Dr. Barbara Ferrer highlighted the spring break parties happening in Miami, Florida, where their test positivity rate is 9 times higher than Los Angeles County. She warned that there is still a threat of the California variant and to take precautions by avoiding large gatherings and parties, poorly ventilated areas, and be sure to wear masks when out in public. Los Angeles County issued a cold weather alert as low temperatures are expected through the rest of this week. Wind chill temps are expected to drop below 32 degrees in the Antelope Valley and Los Angeles County mountain areas through Friday, March 26th. Officials say children, the elderly, and people with disabilities or special needs are especially vulnerable during the cold weather. Pets should also be brought indoors, and be sure to check on neighbors, friends, and family who have limited mobility or limited access to heat. And extra precautions should be taken to avoid being outside for an extended period of time. The California Geological Survey released a new interactive map that could help residents get to safety in the event of a tsunami before serious damage occurs. This hazard area map serves two purposes. One, to update old maps showing how far inland a surge of seawater might go in a worst-case scenario. Second, it ties a small buffer beyond the modeled inundation area to roads or landmarks to help local officials easily communicate evacuation plans. While the likelihood of a dangerous tsunami to hit California is low, officials say if you're on the coast, you need to be aware of the potential hazard. On any given summer weekend or holiday, the county's beaches could have over 1 million visitors per mile of beach, which could pose an evacuation challenge. According to the scenarios posed by the CGS, the first surges of a worst-case tsunami would reach LA's coastline in as little as 6 hours. The most destructive tsunami to hit California took place on March 28, 1964. Several surges reaching 21 feet high swept into Crescent City 4 hours after a magnitude 9.2 earthquake in Alaska, killing 12 people and leveling much of the town's business district. With the influx of personal protective equipment being used throughout the pandemic, one environmental-based group in California is sharing concerns about how it's all being thrown away. Disposable masks, gloves, sanitary wipes, and a number of other items are creating a worldwide pollution problem, littering streets and sending a large number of harmful plastic and other waste into landfills, sewage systems, and oceans. And the Pacific Beach Coalition, a Northern California-based environmental group, is tracking the problem along the coast and is hoping to do something about it. The PBC noticed a dramatic increase in discarded PPE on beaches and around the city of Pacifica, located south of San Francisco, during its monthly cleanup events. Volunteers record what they pick up to gauge what might end up in the ocean. Well, until 2020, most of the trash included cigarette butts and food wrappers, but during the pandemic, they said it was mostly masks, gloves, and wipes. They say large mammals that ingest the PPE and plastic or get caught in it can disrupt the ocean's food chain. In a report released by the advocacy group Oceans Asia, it estimated that nearly 1.6 billion masks would flood oceans in 2020 alone, based on global production estimates and other factors. Oceans Asia also said masks could take as long as 450 years to break down. One suggestion is to cut the loops on the masks before throwing them out, which can prevent animals from getting tangled in them, and to make sure the PPEs end up in recycling bins versus the trash can. Fans of this quick and easy Hot Pocket frozen snack may want to check the packaging, as Nestle Prepared Foods updated its January recall of more than 760,000 pounds of certain Hot Pockets. The U.S. Department of Agriculture's Food Safety and Inspection announced the recall earlier this year, which included 54-ounce boxes of the 12-count premium pepperoni made with pork, chicken, and beef pizza with a garlic buttery crust. Nestle said a batch of these Hot Pockets could pose a choking or laceration risk and should not be eaten. Authorities say the recalled Hot Pockets are considered a Class 1 recall, which is defined as a health hazard as it may contain extraneous materials like pieces of plastic or glass. The frozen, not ready-to-eat products were shipped nationwide in November 2020 and were produced from November 13th through the 16th. They have a best before date of February 2022, Anyone who purchased the affected batches of Hot Pockets should throw them away or return them to the place of purchase. Today marks National American Red Cross Giving Day. It's the organization's annual event to help raise money for relief efforts. The donations made will help provide food, shelter, and relief items to families in need across the Los Angeles region and nationwide. The American Red Cross says the pandemic has taken an enormous toll on families across the country and more is needed. And today, thanks to the Mallet Family Foundation and the Sunoco Foundation, donations will be matched dollar for dollar up to $300,000. Officials say every donation, no matter how big or small, makes a difference. It can help make sure people receive shelter, food, financial assistance, physical and mental health support as well. You can go to redcross.org/Giving Day. As nearly half of U.S. elementary schools return for in-person learning, a national survey is finding varying degrees of disparity in certain regions and among some races. The results of the Institute of Education Sciences survey showed that about 76% of elementary and middle schools were open for in-person or hybrid learning, while 24% offered remote learning only. The survey included the results of 3,300 of 5,000 schools sampled that serve 4th and 8th grade students. 44 states agreed to participate, 6 states declined, and the survey asked about their teaching method as of February and gathered other data as of January. Education Secretary Miguel Cardona said the findings, while encouraging, also showed critical gaps for in-person learning, especially for students of color. He said, quote, "We owe it to our students, especially students in underserved communities and students with disabilities, to get all of our schools open safely and to meet the social, emotional, mental health, and academic needs of all students." The survey findings will be used as baseline data that the administration plans to update each month to show how many schools are teaching in person, online, or through a combination. President Biden's administration had announced $81 billion in education assistance would be reserved from the $1.9 trillion coronavirus relief bill. Some good news for the city of Torrance. It was listed as one of California's top 100 safest cities in 2021. This is SafeWise's 7th annual Safest Cities report. Torrance was ranked number 68. SafeWise used recent crime statistics and data from the Federal Bureau of Investigation to create the list. They also included demographic information and the results of its State of Safety research study as well. The Safest Cities rankings are intended to highlight cities with low crime rates and ignite conversation and action around how to make all cities and communities safer. The city to make the #1 spot was Danville, located in San Ramon Valley in Contra Costa County, with a population size of 44,997. The #4 spot went to the neighboring city of Rancho Palos Verdes, which has a population size of just under 42,000 residents. And the #10 spot went to the city of Lincoln, which is in Placer County in the Sacramento metropolitan area. The Torrance City Council met online last night to discuss city business. During the meeting, longtime city employee Deborah Rogers was acknowledged for her 40-year career and commitment with the Torrance Police Department as she officially heads into retirement. A proclamation was also read declaring April 4th through the 10th National Library Week here in the city of Torrance. The Torrance Public Library is one of the city's greatest resources offered to the public. Residents are encouraged to visit the website to see what services are currently available during the pandemic and utilize the library's curbside service. April was also declared the DMV Donate Life California month in the city. Officials say organ, eye, and tissue donations are always in need. More than 108,000 people nationwide and more than 21,000 in California alone are currently on the national transplant waiting list. And with deceased organ donors, 33,000 lives were saved last year alone. Anyone can be a donor. People can sign up when applying for or renewing their driver's license or ID with the Department of Motor Vehicles, or they can go online to donatelifecalifornia.org. Then an outside consultant gave a presentation on the economic trends and impacts on the city of Torrance, hoping to help optimize local revenues and giving an overview of the city's economy from the past, present, and future. Then the city manager gave updates to the city's COVID-19 response and recovery efforts. He said Los Angeles County's coronavirus data trends continue to show improvement as the daily case rates continue to drop. The city continues to work with businesses to ensure a safe and modified reopening. There were also a number of administrative matters that were discussed. You can watch the full meeting online now at torranceca.gov, on our channel, and on the city's social media platforms. Well, before we go, at the end of each program, we like to share stories from our community, feel-good pictures, images, and videos that remind us of how resilient our community is and how Torrance truly cares. The Torrance Bakery is showing support for those getting the COVID-19 vaccine. They announced that anyone who shows proof of a first dose, second dose, or single dose of any of the vaccines will get a free cookie. You can choose from chocolate chip, peanut butter, oatmeal raisin, fudge chew, or snickerdoodle. This offer is good through the end of April. They're joining the many businesses showing support for those getting vaccinated to protect one another and help put an end to this pandemic. What a great way to show how Torrance cares, one special treat at a time. Now, if you have a great story, upcoming event, a photo or video you'd like to tell us about, email us at covid19today@torranceca.gov. We'd love to hear from you. Well, that's our update for COVID-19 today. Be sure to join us again tomorrow as Ben McCain brings you the latest. Be safe, stay healthy, and thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.